And where can we get these essential fatty acids?
So essential fatty acids are found. So most people are very familiar with the omega-3 side. So alpha linolenic acid, the plant-based form, is really rich in things like flax seeds, chia seeds. We also see walnuts, hemp seeds have pretty abundant amounts of ALA. And then the downstream metabolites are primarily from fish, seafood. So we see really beautiful amounts in things like wild caught Alaskan salmon, in sardines, in mackerel, in anchovies. And then the linoleic acid side, or omega 6, those are going to be found most abundant in seeds. So we see sunflower seeds, pumpkin seeds, hemp seeds. Those sesame seeds are a beautiful source of linoleic acid. Also, healing oils like black cumin seed oil has a good amount of linoleic acid. The Body Bio Balance oil is what I recommend. That is a beautiful cold pressed oil that provides us with a great amount of linoleic acid and alpha linolenic acid in a 4-to-1 ratio, which is what we want. So we can get these essential fatty acids from food sources, but a lot of people have been told to avoid linoleic acid, which is a big problem. And then we also know that most people are taking fish oil. And so when we create an imbalance in these essential fatty acids, we end up really damaging the cell membrane because both linoleic acid and alpha linolenic acid, or omega 6 and omega 3, they compete for the same delta 6 desaturase enzyme. So we see this depletion of linoleic acid when we take too much omega 3. And we can also create the reverse effect if we're eating a lot of linoleic acid and not enough of the omega 3. So we want to balance and harmony between those two essential fatty acids is absolutely key.
Hmm. Well, that's going to be hard for a regular person to achieve that kind of balance, right? How do we know how much of what to take? I mean, how does a normal person navigate?
So it's really important that's why I love the Body Bio Balance oil for that reason, because we are getting an insurance policy. It's a nice 4-to-1 ratio between linoleic acid and alpha linolenic acid. But it's quite easy to actually do if you're aware of these two essential fatty acids and you start paying attention to them in your diet. So if we have like 4 tablespoons of pumpkin seeds and a tablespoon of flax seeds, like that would be a nice 4-to-1 ratio. That's an easy way to kind of pay attention to it from whole food sources. Or if we're eating wild caught Alaskan salmon or sardines, 2 or 3 times a week, we want to make sure that we're also supporting the linoleic acid side so that we're getting in that nice balance and harmony between those two essential fatty acids. We always want to make sure that all of our seeds and all of our nuts are raw. They're never roasted because remember, these essential fatty acids are polyunsaturated fatty acids. So they're very, very susceptible to oxidation. They are easily damaged. So we don't want to expose them to heat, light, or oxygen. We want to really protect them from oxidation. And then I always remind people that when we consume polyunsaturated fatty acids, we really want to make sure that we consume those with protein. Because when we eat polyunsaturated fatty acids with protein, it forms a bond, and that bond protects those polyunsaturated fatty acids as they move through the GI tract from oxidation. So very important that we always take those with food, which is another concern. A lot of people are taking fish oil on an empty stomach. We never want to do that. We always want to make sure that we're taking these polyunsaturated fatty acids with protein.
Okay. And you should be covered with nuts, right? Because they do have protein that's part of the nuts. And so you can just pop these nuts on their own. That would be okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Just make sure they're raw. Yeah. Make sure the nuts are raw.
Okay. Do they have to be sprouted?
There's always going to be good, better, best. I think if we have the time and the availability to soak and go to that extra step of sprouting, that's great. But a lot of people just don't have the time to do that. So unless you're eating mass quantities of these seeds, I don't think it's the end of the world to just eat them raw. Of course, there's going to be exceptions to that rule if people have digestive issues, and then you're going to really want to pay that extra attention to soaking and possibly sprouting.
Mhm.
But you just want them raw, just never roasted.